More trends like continuous improvement of technology affect work processes. Employees are more often able to work at any time and any place because they all have smartphones, laptops and tablets that they can use to log into an internal system. On the other hand, employees still like to come to work sometimes to meet with their colleagues. There are many laws and regulations that a company has to take into account doing business. Also, being transparent about contracts and the way you work can be very important. But when people notice that the company is not keeping itself to the contract regulations, it can get you into a lawsuit with the company. For international projects, European or international guidelines are used to monitor the project processes. Because our company is a city hall, it's not likely to expand. However, hypothetically speaking, we would move abroad to expand. After analyzing various macroeconomic aspects, we chose Belgium, that also has quite a few similar aspects to Holland. It was the most suitable country to expand to. So if we take a look at the aspects, we start with the GDP growth rate. As you can see, the GDP growth rate of the Netherlands and Belgium is quite similar. Both countries still have an increasing GDP growth rate. Secondly, we looked at the GDP per capita. As you can see, the GDP per capita in the Netherlands is higher than the GDP per capita in Belgium, but they are both still relatively higher compared to other countries. For a city hall, it's quite important to have a good mark on GDP per capita because this can influence, for example, the taxes that the government gets from the citizens. After looking at the GDP per capita, we looked at the unemployment rate. The unemployment rate in the Netherlands is lower than in Belgium. However, the unemployment rate in both countries is relatively low. As you can see, the unemployment rate is decreasing over time. Finally, we analyzed the economical approach of Belgium, if they would have a Keynesian or a new classical system. Belgium tends to have a more new classical approach because they believe that unemployment is voluntary and they try to pay off the debt as much as possible. After all of our course lectures and all of the information we obtained with the research, we can answer the question, how far does our theory in our books actually applies in practical life? Our theory almost always applies in practical life, but we also learn that sometimes the theory isn't applicable in the practical side of the facility industry. This is where the facility manager has to step up and has to try to solve these problems as smooth as possible. Looking at the theories we learn at school and what really happens in practice, we can see a few things. It varies per company how much of the theories is actually used and how many differences there are. A bigger company is more likely to follow the theories and structures than a small company. But when a problem occurs, a bigger company is more likely to create an innovative solution by thinking out of the box. A bigger company might notice the difference faster when outsourcing is used.
Created using IP2.